Okay, Peter Do, Peter Do, Peter Do. I find myself so satisfied with the Peter Do brand and its runway for a few reasons. Of course, this is attributed to my own personal style, but I love black. I love when clothes and objects don't have to be too loud to make a point. Very La Mer, The Row, Phoebe Philo, Celine, Helmut Lang as well, which is very fitting since Peter Do recently released his first collection as creative director of Helmut Lang. But overall, I love big ideas with structured execution, or bringing a concept down to its bare bones while still making it feel fresh, innovative, and timeless. And that's what Peter Do does for me. So in this video, I want to reference some past collections, talk about some codes of the house that I noticed, and where I find that the brand is headed. Peter Do is a Vietnamese American fashion designer who really has gained recognition in the fashion industry for his meticulous tailoring and modern designs. There's also such a distinctive comprehension of texture and the human anatomy in his work, and I want to dive into that a little bit later in the video. Also, when I think of Peter Do, I always think of the friends and co-founders that launched the brand with him. I'm cutting into the video just because I really wanted to add the names of those co-founders: Lydia Sacato, Vincent Ho, Ann Nguyen, and Jessica Wu. They all operate in different capacities of the business, but Peter Do has done a great job of communicating that this isn't a singular pursuit. This isn't just all about him. He wears a mask to take his bows at the end of his shows, keeping his appearance unknown. And so much like Margiela, he emphasizes that the work and the team are paramount, and that's one part of the brand's philosophy that I really enjoy. Peter Do worked as an intern for Derek Lam and Phoebe Philo at Celine before launching in 2018. I remember Peter Do's resume being such a huge PR push when they first started, and fashion media always does that, kind of painting this new and upcoming designer as a prodigy and associating them with the designers and houses that they worked for before they started. I think that's an excellent marketing strategy when trying to attract new customers and transfer customers over to a new brand. However, this also creates an atmosphere of inevitable comparison to who you worked for when you're trying to establish your own brand identity separate from your connection to Celine, etc. And so from being an intern and then launching in 2018, so the journey began for Peter Do to take that modern minimalistic philosophy and build his own language from that framework. Speaking of identity and language, some of the aesthetic codes that I noticed with Peter Do include neutral color palettes, a long belted skirt, or a piece that's cinched at the waist through tailoring, more belting, a tie or wrapping around the body. You might notice spacer fabric in their collections as well, an original material developed by Peter Do with a lightweight quality to it and known to be more wrinkle resistant to hold up that shape. I also tend to see a rolled up sleeve with some sharp structure, and that idea of a good rolled up sleeve look really speaks to Peter Do's notion of wanting to create clothes that you can get to work in and still go out after work. Peter Do has this sense of quality and durability to last as long as you need it to in any stage of your day. And then moreover, these pieces can last you through any stage of your life as well. And that is the true definition of timelessness to me. You may also notice a lot of skin, sheer fabric, an open chest, or an open back moment as well. Earlier in the video, I mentioned something that I want to keep thinking about: Peter Do's comprehension of texture and the human anatomy. Now, you would think that all fashion is about human anatomy, understanding the many stages that the human body goes through from childhood to adulthood and however that takes shape. And in many ways, yes, those that make clothes know that people need to put clothes on and those clothes need to fit that person. But there's this special moment in fashion, most likely when it's good weather, where the clothes and the wearer get to coexist and complement each other in this very elegant way. It's the moment in fashion where designers like Peter Do can create cuts and choose fabrics that show more of the skin that lies underneath the clothes. I don't know, when I'm talking about showing skin, I'm not talking about a crop top and short shorts here. Peter Do accentuates what lies underneath the clothes in such a tasteful way with these open back moments, the sheer or light fabrics that aren't too restraining. We can still see so much movement even when layering. I'm cutting in to add a little bit more to this concept. I like to use a more modest look as an example. This is look 54 from the spring 2023 show, more on the modest side compared to some other looks in this collection. You can see the short v-neck on the blazer, which is pretty standard, but then I love the length and how this is styled and designed to be pushed back behind her arms to show a little bit of stomach, and then moving into this long white skirt that's been lightly layered or curtained over a short skirt. Even in the more modest moments, Peter Do has made me hyper aware that this isn't just about the clothes. If we really want to take it there and maybe even get a little bit deeper, Peter Do might not even be about designing clothes at all to me. This is about acknowledging that there is a body underneath, making it feel comfortable, and letting us know that these looks do not work without its movement. It's almost like he doesn't want to get in the way of what the body wants to do and where it wants to go. There's this ruffled open back moment on the male models from the spring 2023 show that I just can't stop thinking about. And this is what I mean by celebrating the body that lies underneath while still giving us such strong tailoring and technique that he's known for. The spring 2023 collection was a huge connector for me. It's definitely my favorite collection from the house so far, but it also connected a lot of dots. After a few collections of experimenting with color, draping, offering a new range of accessories, after introducing more of the aesthetic codes that I just mentioned, having more celebrity and fashion influencers at the shows, the spring 2023 collection just summarized for me who they are and where they're going as a brand. And then after that collection, to collaborate with Banana Republic for the news of Helmut Lang appointing Peter Do as a new creative director, and then also moving the Peter Do collections to Paris recently, I just felt like it was kind of like this all-encompassing moment of we've established ourselves in New York. We're still a New York brand at heart, but let's expand now. And I'm starting to see that expansion throughout the Peter Do brand. After that 2023 collection, it just felt like everything was moving on this like upward turning point, and we're starting to see this diversification and this extension of Peter Do in other places. Peter Do's appointment at Helmut Lang is a pivotal moment. It makes perfect sense, though it's undoubtedly a significant task to revive a brand with such rich history. Helmut Lang was just such a pioneer in the minimalist aesthetic and innovative use of materials, being radical with deconstructive clothing and functionality, and then innovating on the business side of fashion as well, understanding the impact of collaboration. He was also one of the first to move his fashion shows from Paris to New York, modernizing fashion marketing with his advertising campaigns. He was also the first designer to broadcast a fashion show live on the internet, making it accessible to a broader audience that couldn't be there. I'm reading some essays at the moment that I find really interesting. Maybe I can talk a little bit more about Helmut Lang in another video, but all that to say, Peter Do has been handed a huge task. What I admire most about Peter Do is his honesty over the years regarding the business, financing a brand, and his genuine emotions about it all. I always felt like the same way he loves to play with transparency in the clothing, showing skin, showing the inseam once in a while, he's just as transparent about the realities of fashion business. I read that while designing at Helmut Lang, he wants the Peter Do brand to feel like a space of free will for him without the financial pressures of building this billion-dollar brand. Some of the recent interviews just feel like he's really reflecting on the desire to maintain creative freedom and integrity. In his most recent fall 2024 collection, even before reading his interview with Vogue, I sensed a profound ease to the collection. He dedicated this collection to his grandmother, titling it Ao Dai in homage to her and his Vietnamese heritage. With his new role at Helmut Lang, Peter Do is engaging in a lot of introspection, and so with this Peter Do collection, I can see him really saying, I want there to be a sense of freedom. I want to feel light and I want to feel fluid. Allowing things at the Peter Do brand not to feel as heavy as the task of being the new creative director at Helmut Lang. There's a noticeable ease to these visuals, to the clothes, even though it still maintains that strong, structured tailoring we expect from Peter Do. These pieces are adjustable and adaptable and easy to move in, embodying his philosophy of versatility. Peter Do has always excelled at merging function with luxury, and his time at Helmut Lang will only enhance this, and hopefully, potentially, at a more approachable price point. And so, yeah, bury me in Peter Do. I want everything Peter Do. And that is all, folks. I will see you in the next video. I'm going to be talking about resort collections in just a bit.